If you're watching this, you're probably one of my subscribers. If not, then hi, I'm Matt Villani, also known as AltoonaYourPiano. I run a small-time music channel that had some moderate success over the 13 and a half years I've been on here. So now, as to what this video is about, in my previous video, I alluded to the fact that various reasons I've decided to step away from YouTube indefinitely. Now don't worry, that does not mean I won't be answering your new comments. I'm not deleting anything. I'm not shutting down my channel. I'm just stepping away from YouTube. I will also not be disabling comments. I know that sometimes people, especially small YouTubers, will disable comments when they're busy or not active on their channel at the moment, figuring that their viewers will prefer that over not getting a prompt reply. But I know viewers don't mind not getting a prompt reply, but people do tend to be irritated if they can't comment at all. So if you're here, you likely saw my thumbnail, or maybe you heard my announcement I'm done with YouTube. So you're wondering why I'd leave YouTube, as I'd said about in my last two videos. So I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to share my opinions and perspectives on things, but I am not going to speculate into any reasons. I have my thoughts, but I understand they could be wrong, so I don't want to make any baseless accusations. I only want to show you what I actually have evidence for, sticking to just the facts. Now, before I begin, I just want to get something out of the way first and foremost. This decision has absolutely nothing at all to do with views, subscribers, monetization, watch time, or any other such metrics. This has nothing to do with the size of my channel, the rate of growth, the rate of views, none of that. If I were upset over not getting enough views or not being famous enough or whatever, I would have quit 10 years ago. I am not upset over my subscriber count, monetization, none of that. I never made much money from this, and that was never my motivation to begin with. People who started after me are more successful now, but guess what? I promoted some of them, and I still do. I want people to do well. I am very okay with being the cobbler has no shoes, or the cobbler's children has no shoes, or whatever scenario. My content is very niche. I get that. In fact, this isn't even me quitting YouTube the way people think. This is not some snap decision I did in anger. In fact, leaving everybody behind is emotional for me. I care about all of you. I know a lot of people on YouTube say that. They say that because they think it'll get them views, subscribers, whatever, parasocial relationship, whatever. But I mean that. I really do. You're friends to me. I don't do none of that parasocial BS. I had no intentions of leaving YouTube, but unfortunately this site has become unusable for me right now. Therefore, I will have to stop using it at the very least until things start working properly again. Hence the switch to the hibernating bear icon as opposed to the usual fall icon. If you're watching the video accompanying what I'm saying, you've likely already seen and noticed the problem I'm referring to. My comments are almost all hidden. Not all are fully shadow banned where they're only visible to myself, but a good many are. What I'm showing here is the rest, the majority of my comments. The ones that are what's known as deboosted. They're visible only when newest first is selected. When top comments, the default setting is chosen. The overwhelming majority of my comments don't appear to anybody but myself, and maybe the channel uploader if they get notifications. And they only become visible to the very few who will select newest first. And it's a time sensitive thing because the more people comment, the slim chance of my comment being seen becomes even less. Some of you know about this ongoing issue. My attempts to bring awareness to YouTube to get this to look into this have been completely fruitless. I've gotten very little in response. At first I thought it was some bug, like how my mentions in Creator Studio are broken for several months at a time. I kept trying to figure out if it was a glitch or something else, but I still have no idea. If it was done deliberately by YouTube for some reason, no clue. I only have guesses and speculation, but I don't have an answer. I tried to get an answer from YouTube, but to no avail. I've sent in countless reports in which I do nothing but very politely explain the situation that's going on, and still nothing. I just get the runaround. What I found out from talking to the YouTube AI is that I'm likely on their naughty list somehow. I have no idea what I could have done wrong. If you know me, know the types of comments I leave. It's not like I troll, spam, harass, start fights, do anything that would merit any sort of moderation applied to my comments. Some of you have left very well-meaning and encouraging comments, which I truly appreciate, telling me not to let it get me down and to keep going. If this were just about channel metrics, like not getting enough views, it'd be one thing. If it were someone who doesn't watch videos and focuses on being a content creator above all else, it would be good advice. But for someone like me, someone who uses YouTube as a viewer to leave comments, to interact with the community as a whole, this has greatly hindered my ability to do so. I'm like a bug with a jar placed over it, hence the thumbnail. This, unfortunately, is not something that can be overcome with positive thinking or a new perspective. This isn't a perspective thing. This is an issue of not being able to interact with people properly. This is not an issue of not getting enough views, notifications not working, the algorithm not taking my videos. It's not just my videos that are shadow banned, it's me as a commenter. I've been dealing with issues for ages like this, and I never felt deterred. This is an issue of basic site functionality, and YouTube no longer functions as a useful service for me. The ability to interact and leave nice comments that can encourage people, uplift any who might read it, and share some cool information is extremely important to me. For me, the ability to reach out, interact, be part of a community, get to know people, that is what's important to me. That is why I use YouTube. The content creator part has always been just a hobby for me, in the way someone who sells homemade arts and crafts at the county fair does it as a hobby. I want to make a difference, but I can't if nobody can see my comments except me or the channel owner. Especially on larger channels, where almost all the interaction is with other fans of the channel. Feels like I'm isolated from everyone. I know some creators don't mind, as there's an idea that there's viewers and creators. And once you become a creator, you're no longer a viewer and you just stick to your own channel. That was never the idea for me, it was never the case. And I never intended to just stay on my own channel, like a spider waiting for people to come to me. No, I'm a social butterfly. I always have been, I always will be. I always like to get to know people, and that will not change. I've had issues before where comments are auto-blocked, where random comments get removed. Everybody's been dealing with that BS. But things always resolve eventually, like within days, maybe weeks. But this is different. It's an ongoing issue. I have no clue how to fix it. I have no clue what I even did. I have no clue if I did anything. YouTube either isn't telling me or they don't know. I've dealt with so much on here, the usual, but this one really sticks. I have no idea what I did wrong, or if I did anything wrong. My comments aren't the kind that would need to get moderated. I have no idea why I'd be on a naughty list. In fact, I always try to leave a nice, thoughtful comment, positive feedback, constructive idea, trivia facts, just anything to contribute positively. In fact, I've seen so many other video comments that really should have been moderated that I have no idea how they posted just fine. Anyways, I've been dealing with this issue ongoing since late July, perhaps even before, and I hadn't noticed for a while, but most likely that was when it began, as I remember many of my comments getting much more interactivity before late July. As I said before, I figured it was just a glitch, as it was just my new comments being affected by it. But then I noticed it happened to my old comments. They were no longer appearing in Google search for AltoonaYourPiano, including a very popular one on a Simpsons video. This happened after I brought my issue to YouTube's attention. I'm not going to speculate as to why things happened in that particular sequence of events, as I have no idea, but you can draw your own conclusions. The comment literally says that I find it heartwarming that Homer's being a good sport to support his friend Barney Gumble. 1.2 thousand likes, and hidden. As you notice, a few of my comments actually do post, like these ones. And I had to scour the entire website to find these. There's really nothing even special about them. They're just like my other comments. In a way, this actually makes it even worse. Not only because it gives me false hope seeing a couple comments post normally, but it also confirms it's not some kind of glitch and I really am on YouTube's naughty list. I'm not the only one this happens to either. Others suffer from it too. The fact that very few can read my comments, that 99% or so will never see them, is why I cannot continue to use this website for the time being. I'm also no spring chicken and suffer from a combination of arthritis, spinal disc degeneration, neck issues, cubital tunnel syndrome, not to be confused with carpal tunnel syndrome. They're quite different, and lifelong flu complications from a flu I had in 2018. And so it does me no good to waste my time to continue to type comments that nobody will see that cause my wrists and elbows to feel like they're on fire. This isn't what I wanted. In fact, I tried so hard to get this fixed. I know so many people quit YouTube due to being dissatisfied with metrics, but I had plans to be here for my 20-year YouTube anniversary. 25-year, under the assumption my channel would still remain small or medium-sized. Just never came into anything with the goal of becoming a YouTuber. I just wanted to share my music. It just never occurred to me that I'd be having issues with the comments. But the reality of it is this. It's been almost 2 months since this issue began. I don't know what I could have done to find my comments moderated like that. I just wish that, even if I think the reason is unfair and unfounded, that I could at least be told why this happened. And so, with that, I'll repeat what I said at the end of my last regular video, my channel finale, the harvest song, the fall harvest song. Thank you all so much for being a big part of my journey on here. 13 years, 13 wonderful, awesome years of time spent sharing my stuff with all of you. I've met so many of you over the years. You've come and gone over the years. Some have stuck around. I hope to see some of my old school viewers from back in the day, but if not, I understand. The average channel lasts for 7 years. I almost doubled that. If it weren't for commenting issues, I'd still be posting with no thought of ever leaving. I was trying so hard to get things fixed, but this site remains broken for me. At this point, using it is just a burden. I don't think I'll ever come back to full time, even if things work again. But I might come back and make after the show specials, like holiday specials for Halloween, Christmas, or like movies, and even then, that's only if my comments post again. Thank you all so much for making this small-time musician happy, for being part of this community, a group of friends. You have no idea how honored I am to be why you all gathered here. I feel so blessed I was able to give you 13 years and change of my time. My heart and soul poured into these videos, and I poured my heart and soul into them for you, for all of you, for all of you. I wanted to give you the best. If I made your lives better, if I taught you something, if I enriched your life, that means so much more to me than any metric ever could. I couldn't have done this without you.